This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, welcome to a weird edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. It feels more like a Loco Pigskin Live because it's Thursday night, but we had high school football tonight. You were out at a game. I was planning to get to a game, but by the time I wrapped up a marathon swim meet where I also delved over to tennis and to volleyball. It was a crazy night at Hilton Head High. All kinds of stuff going on out there. By the time I got back, I was in a lightning delay over there. It was 28-6. May River over Battery Creek, and our friend Marcus Walsh was there, and he'll join us momentarily to tell us what he saw in the first quarter. And then I think we're going to try to get the man of the hour, Tanner Macy, on to talk about it later. But so I didn't get to a football game, but you did. You got over to Bluffton, where the Bobcats made pretty easy work of Frederica Academy, and Hayden Gregory is going to jump in with us in a few to talk about that. But it's been a long, chaotic day. We got another one tomorrow. Wes, how you holding up?
I'm doing well. Great to go over the Bluffton. First look at the Bobcats. I was really impressed. After taking last week off, got some time to correct things and work, especially on defense and how they're going to handle what was coming in a strong Frederica run game, but Bobcats shut it down. Really impressive performance all the way around, and the offense was stellar once again. They have gotten some playmakers who have just picked up right where some of the guys who left last year left off, like Jalen Linder. Carnell Warren was a beast tonight. And, so was that run game of Jake Ridgway. Someone who we really didn't talk about, under the radar story. We talked about Warren, but kind of.
It happened late. Late. Ridgway was not – he was going to stay at May River and kind of made the decision last minute right before school started. So it was a late thing. That's why he didn't play the first game, too. I don't even think he had the days – I don't even know if he was eligible yet, like the heat acclimation or whatever. So, no, he was a late addition, but that's a nice pickup because he's really a nice – versatile piece. It seems like they're using him mostly as like a straight running back, but he can do some different things for you.
Yeah, I liked his approach at the running back position. He was powering past defenders.
Yeah, he's tough.
He's a great power back. They kind of found a good use for him there, but I mean, you can also put him out wide and see what he has at receiver because he has a couple of dynamic abilities at the skill position spots where this team can take advantage of having them out wide. I think they're going to keep them in the backfield. They have a good, solid core at wide receiver, but It's nice to have several different options you can turn to. But I thought Owen Bays played a strong game. I think, in terms of his deep passing and just there's a few decisions that I thought he could have done a better job with. But in terms of just managing the game, getting the ball out to his playmakers, getting the ball in space, I thought he did a good job there. And, just think the fact that he is an important weapon on the ground who they could use to run well. But really, they put the ball in the hands of Brandon Bright and Carnell Warren for the most part. And, in those short intermediary routes, I thought Owen Bays did a good job. So I'm really impressed by the way he's developed. I think he was still learning a lot at Hilton Head, but I think now, getting the starting role and using that time to really improve himself and to find himself as a passer and that leader, I think he's doing a great job. And it's really shown it's the first time I was able to see him play. And, I'm impressed by the way he's taken on this new role. No, not easy to transfer over to a new school and have to go through that process. But I think he's really found a good home at Bluffton, and he's driving into the offense is doing some great work early on. Second out of three games, they scored 40 points or more. So I think Kate Gregory is really finding himself. Some of these offensive playmakers, and the line is doing a good job blocking as well. So, really impressive all-around performance. I think the defense is really where you got to give the most credit to, allowing just 13 points to a team that I thought coming in was going to give Bluffton a little bit more trouble, especially when you look at what Jordan Triplett did last week. But, man, Bluffton was all over them from the start, and there's just so little room for Tripp to do anything, with his quickness, agility. The line was just clogging up running lanes, and Shane Whitaker, what a dude. He is an absolute beast. I mean,
and he was not 100% for that Jenkins game. He was pretty banged up, and I think that was a big factor in them kind of fading in the fourth quarter on defense and not being able to lock it down because they struggled tackling in that game, and so it's good to see now 2 weeks removed from that the defense was on point. That, I think that looks a little more like what we thought they would look like. So that's good to see. But we'll talk with Hayden Gregory more about that in a bit. Let's get our friend Marcus Walsh in here to talk a little May River Battery Creek with us, because Marcus, while I was on the island at the party at Hilton Head, you were over at the creek for a quarter, and it was all shark. You were there 28-6, and then the Lightnings came, so you cleared out, which can't fault you there. Reports were that it continued to be all Sharks. 44-12, the final. Tanner Macy with 6 total touchdowns, 4 rushing, 2 passing. So big game for Macy again, 2 weeks in a row, and that offense is rolling now. And I know you're already excited about. You get to see them again next week, right?
It's going to be fun. Wow. It is going to be very fun. I mean, if Bonds is ready to go, based off the fact that he may rest some this week, we obviously don't know. If he's ready to go and that offense gets rolling for Buford, I think next week has a chance to be a whole bunch of fun. But you're exactly right, just with what Tanner Macy has done over the years for that team. He was just flying all over the place. That entire offense was just flying all over the place.
Now, I will say this.
A track meet.
Buford's defense is going to be a step up.
Yeah.
No question about it.
That's 7 points against West Ashley. That was a good defense. They're going to see another quality defense. I think the offense has clearly made steps in the past 2 games. So that's going to be a good test for both teams. I think we all kind of agree May River and Hilton Head are kind of in the same sphere, at least, they'll separate from each other one way or the other, most likely between now and then. But, we agree they're on kind of the same tier. And so we just saw Hilton Head and Buford have a Donnybrook. So it should be good times.
It's going to be great. Another guy that certainly did great stuff for May River, especially early in the game when I was there, was Gage Duncan. And I remember calling some great games of his, not only on the football field, but on the basketball court as well.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
He's a tremendous athlete. And he had a huge kickoff return to start the game. He got May River into great field position. I think it was about the 38-yard line. And then 17 seconds into the game, they've got their first points. Battery Creek came right down and scored 2. And I thought, maybe Battery Creek has a chance to get some things going. And then that was the beginning of the end for them. Unfortunately, they just don't have the guys that we were talking about earlier. Justin.
They're banged up bad right now. Yeah. They have some really good players.
They do.
That's what you and I talked about earlier. The top end is really good, but the depth is just not there. And so they're relying on a lot of young guys who are pretty inexperienced, especially in the trenches. And, that gets your backs banged up. And so last week they had Juju Gordon starting at running back, and he's a great receiver, but he's not really a running back. And, so he's hanging out back there while Nick Underwood, who's really talented and power back, is on the shelf. And then Damian Freeman's still on the shelf, and Donye Brown just got back. So he's just kind of slowly working his way back. So, they're just really beat up, and I think they're better than that 0-4 record indicates, and certainly better than the point differential would indicate. But they're in a precarious spot right now. Hopefully they can get healthy, because that North Charleston game is very winnable. That's not a very good team. So hopefully they can be healthy for that, because if they just win that, they're in the playoffs. And I'm not sure that they can hope for more than that in the region with the way Hanahan, Phillips, Simmons are playing, as well as Buford. But just getting into the playoffs and having a shot is worth a lot. Just having that extra week of practice and another game of reps for the young guys is so important.
Yeah, I think you got to figure that into the account in terms of you want to make sure everybody's healthy for that game, because that's going to determine really the fate of the rest of the season. So if you can get yourself ready and fine-tune yourself for that game, I think that's what Coach Susie has to be thinking of. But at the same time, if you're trying to build game by game, you want to give your team a shot in every game, but just looking in terms of perspective of the season, I understand why if Coach decides to go for that. But it's tough when you have those experienced guys playing in there and you're trying to get reps, and then you get some of these playmakers that just have not been able to find that space to find those lanes. So it can be tough sometimes for a team when you're getting close. You're close to that win over Ridgeland. Just fell short in overtime. They played a strong game against Hilton Head, but when your depth is thin, especially at the back end, it can be hard to stay in games like that when you're going to be a team that has more depth than you. So, I believe in Coach Susie. I like the grind and the work that we've seen from this team, and hopefully they get rewarded, especially with a big win over North Charleston and get into the playoffs.
And you hope the morale doesn't get too low.
Absolutely.
You keep taking L's, and they kind of fall victim to the same thing that Whale Branch used to, and the county finally let Whale Branch out of the shackles where they used to have to play all the county schools in non-region. So Whale Branch would be 0-5 and walking wounded going into region play every year because they just played all the 4As and 3As in the county. And finally, Hatcher got him to let him out of that so he could go schedule like opponents and have a chance early in the season. But just because of the way it is right now with the 3 4A schools, and then with the with the 3 4A schools, and then with Buford being a 4A caliber program, a top 3A program that is comparable to most 4A programs.
Yeah.
Battery Creek's got a murderer's row of non-region games there. And then you throw Whale Branch in the mix, and that's a pretty good squad too. That's a pretty even matchup typically, like manpower wise. So, they never get an easy break in their non-region schedule. We saw them play two kind of like talented teams in Ridgeland and Calhoun, and they were, right there in both games. So, it's an uphill climb at Battery Creek. It always is. And I think that Ash and Susie are doing yeoman's work trying to get the foundation built where they can take it to a different level than it's been before in a long time, at least. So shout out to them, but May River is looking good, man. And we'll have hopefully Tanner Macy jumping in a little bit. He said they were just leaving Creek and his phone was on 8. So he would let me know how it worked out. Hopefully he found a charger. I do see a Will Morrow account in the green room. That could be Tanner hanging out with Will Morrow. So we'll see if we can't get him in a little bit. But while we wait on Hayden Gregory, it's been a long day, y'all, to join us, let me shout out some MVP sponsors, starting with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. She is an agent with the Pierce Group of eXp Realty, and she would love to help you find your place in the Lowco, whether it's an investment property, a first home, or a forever home. She'll help you navigate this real estate market and make an investment that is right for you. And when it's time to close the deal, we'll call on our MVP sponsor, Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate closing attorneys of LowcoSports. But they do much more than that, and they've been with us for 6.5 years now. Just saw some of the Mickle squad out at the pool today, matter of fact. Mason and Walker out there swimming for HHCA, gave them a fist bump. So always great to see the Mickelsons around. They are a great cornerstone of our community, and they will be the cornerstone of your legal team if you have any legal needs. And when it's time to make sure we're making a good deal, we're going to call on our friends at Homegrown Home Inspections. Jan Lucas and his team will make sure that every nook and cranny of that house is inspected to make sure it's a great investment for you and something you can take with you for years to come. And then when you end your days in that house and it's time to move on to the next stage, hopefully your loved ones will call on Hospice Care of the Low Country. Our great friends over there have a wonderful caring staff that really takes care of your needs at the end of life experience and makes it a peaceful journey for everyone involved, including your family that you leave behind. So love our friends at Hospice Care of the Low Country. Really appreciate them being one of our MVP sponsors. If you'd like to join that roster, hit us up at LowcoSports@gmail.com, LOWCO sports@gmail.com. And fellas, we're waiting on Hayden Gregory to jump in with this, but I figured we'd look around while we wait and talk about a couple other things that happened today. Started getting some stuff. Oh, no, we won't. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Hayden Gregory. Welcome to the show, brother. We've been talking about doing this for a minute, but we finally got you in here. Late night rendezvous to talk Bluffton Bobcat football, and kind of a bonus game for you tonight because you got wiped out last week, so you had to go to go to the message boards and find a partner. Go to the apps and find you a partner. So Frederica was able to make the trip up, and good night for the Bobcats. Tell us a little bit about what you learned about your team tonight.
Kind of just confirmed what I already believed and knew deep down, is that we're a good football team. I felt like Frederica, I never heard of them before until we were looking for a game, and they got kind of
they swiped right.
They got the situation as us. They had a hurricane cancellation. So they needed a game too, and it just worked out really good. But they were a good football team. Their quarterback, who's really a running back, literally led the country in rushing yards.
Wow.
Game. He was averaging 350 rushing yards a game. He was an All-American last year, and he's going to Air Force. So, but we did a really good job tackling tonight, and I was happy to see our kids do that because we struggled at that 2 weeks ago. So, great night. And then offensively, obviously, we have a lot of firepower, and it clicked tonight. We threw 3 picks that were just unfortunate, but if we would have stayed away from those, we would have scored 60-plus points. So, it was a good game.
Yeah, I was impressed with what I saw tonight, but I think the defense did a great job setting the tone out there on the line and doing what you did against Triplet. I mean, that is not easy at all. Shane Whitaker was very prominent. Doyle had a great game. So you just talk about some of these guys in the defensive line and how they just dug in tonight and played their hearts out against a very, very good team and a great quarterback.
Yeah, Chris Doyle is a name to look out for. That guy's going to be a presence for the next couple of years. He's only a sophomore. He's going to play Division I football one day. Our nose guard right now. Last week he had 10 tackles, 3 tackles for loss. This week, I don't know how many tackles he had. I haven't been able to watch film yet, but I'm sure he was having a whale of a game again. And we kind of told him, like, dude, they ain't played a nose guard like you yet. Like, you're going to dominate this game. And then, obviously, Jeremiah, being the study is, he did awesome as well. We moved him to inside linebacker this week, and it really paid off. So, really happy with those guys.
Yeah, Whitaker was he was kind of banged up a couple weeks ago, right? So
no,
nice
Whitaker hasn't been hurt.
Oh, okay. I thought he said his back was bothering him a couple weeks ago, but
he might have said
not.
In line. Yeah.
I got you. Well, how important was it to get this game? I mean, 2 weeks off, that can be tough, right? I mean, you want to get reps. You want to see kids in live situations.
That would have really been tough, especially after only playing 2 games. And for just like our seniors, like they deserve to play 10 games guaranteed, and they deserve to have 5 home games. So like last week was supposed to be a home game for us. Right. So it would have, it would suck as a senior to only get to play 4 guaranteed home games. Now, hopefully we'll get a lot more once we get to the playoffs, but it would just, I would have hated that for our seniors to only get 9 games. That's why I wanted to find a game so bad.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. You want to see that's the goal, to get as many games as possible at home and hopefully a few into November as well. And you guys are on the right track so far to making some noise to have a chance of doing that. But, this offense, another 40-point game, second time you guys have done that this year. A couple explosive weapons. Of course, Cardinal Warren was excellent tonight. So was Brandon Bryant. But, I was also impressed by Jake Ridgway and your use of having him in the backfield and just, plowing through a hard-nosed Frederica defense and continuing to pick up good carries. And obviously the offensive line doing a good job blocking. But, just tell me about Ridgway and how he's grown into this role now and what you thought of him.
Yeah, Jake was a great addition for us. That's a tough freaking kid right there. I love that guy. He is very smart. He's learned our offense very, very quickly.
There you go, Coach. You can keep looking at the screen now.
He learned our offense really quickly, and he's doing a really good job for us right now. But really, I got to give a lot of credit to our offensive line. I said it to US after the game, but our offense line's so improved. I think I was saying to Coach Karka, our offense coordinator, the other day, I was like, they're the strength of our team right now. They're not the biggest guys or, anything crazy, but they are smart and they play physical and they play tough. And they've made such a big difference on our team from this year to last year.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference when you're good in the trenches. Get in there, Marcus. Do you have a question?
Yeah, Coach, talk a little bit about some of the things that you're looking to maybe get some improvement on. You've got some big games coming up in 7-4A. I'm going to see you guys against May River, and then certainly you've got the Hilton Head game that we called last year. Kevin Libby will be filling in for me on that game, but certainly our crew's going to see you on that. Talk a little bit about what you're looking forward to seeing out of your team a little bit down the stretch of the next couple of weeks before some of those huge 7-4A games.
Yeah, I mean, obviously just keep getting better at what we're doing, but we got to get, as far as improving, we got to get our turnovers under control. We'd be undefeated right now if we didn't turn the ball over. We turned the ball over 3 times in the fourth quarter against Jenkins, or else we would have won the game. And we turned the ball over 3 times in the first half this week. So again, if we would keep our friggin' just turnovers down to 0, we'd be averaging 50 a game right now.
Yep.
So, and we should continue to do that. Honestly, for our offense, our goal is to score every drive. Defensively, I just want to keep seeing us improve at tackling, and just getting better at our assignments and all that stuff. But it's really not anything complicated. Take care of the football and tackle the dude with the football. That's about it.
Yeah, that's right. Just don't walk people and don't strike out. It's real easy, right?
Yeah, no doubt, right?
Easy as can be. No, I did want to commend, I think Owen Bass has been a nice addition. Obviously, you needed a QB this year. Aiden McCarthy's also been solid when he's gotten in there as well. But Owen seems to be really comfortable in that offense, and the way you guys spread it out creates a lot of space for him to take off and tuck it and run when it's there. And seems to have, I think him transferring at the break last year too seemed to help because he played basketball, built some camaraderie, but it really seems like he's embraced the role and the team there.
Yeah, him transferring before school was over actually helped him a lot because he's been able to be with us a lot. Owen's been banged up the last couple of weeks too, as you guys know. He's fine, but for him to not be 100%, it's kind of hindered him a little bit. So I think he was better this week than he was against Jenkins. So I think he'll continue to get a little better. And as he continues to feel better, I think he'll continue to play better. And then every game he's playing, we're seeing some improvements from him. So if he keeps grasping the offense more, kind of understanding what we like in games, because, practicing and playing 7-on-7 is way different than playing action football. Yeah. And I've talked about this a lot, but, it's awesome that Owen can run the ball, but we also don't want him to be a runner first. So we want it to, because we have a lot of good receivers, and those guys can get the ball, and it's his job.
They have better 40 times than he does.
They do.
and part of it is knowing what you got, being that game manager and getting it out to the guys can make plays. And both Carna, Ward, and Brandon Bryant showed that tonight. Really well-oiled offense performance and then a defense that was just very relentless from start to finish against a great quarterback. But, looking big picture here at this region, it's definitely getting interesting. You guys have proven yourselves. May River getting a big win. Hilton looking solid as well. You got James Allen, Lucy Beckham right there. Also, are looking the part, especially James Allen so far. But just big picture, your thoughts on you guys and some of these other teams as you fine tune and get ready for region play ahead.
Man, I watched the Beaufort Hilton Head game last Friday since we were off, and Hilton Head was pretty good. So that'll be another great game again. And obviously May River is always going to be physical and tough, and I think they do a great job over there. So, man, our region's tough. There's no one game that you just circle and it's like, yeah, this is a win and move on. So for us, I think we can win a region championship. I truly believe that. I also know if we don't play good, we could be a 4 seed or out of the playoffs. So we got to show up every freaking week when we get to region play. So through these next 2 games, we got to get better as a football team. We got to stay healthy. And, we just got to take it one game at a time. Obviously, starting with Elmed is a huge game for us because it's basically you win, you're in the playoffs, and you're in the driver's seat. You lose, you put yourself behind the 8 ball, and we don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And James Island is a really good football team. Really good. And if you're looking really far ahead, they're obviously it seemed to be in the region, being the defending champs. But the thing I'm excited about that is we had to play them last year without a quarterback. So Brandon Bryant played quarterback against them last year. So I'm excited to actually get them with a full clip this year.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Be a
You've
great
got a
match.
couple more, but before you get in there, you got you go to Battery Creek next week. That team is struggling, but they're going to fight you. They're going to put up a fight. And then you have Buford at home. So just a couple more tests before you get into that region slate, and it's looking so far so good for the Bobcats. I mean, obviously the one setback, but you learn a lot more in defeat than you do in victory most of the time. So looks like you guys went back to the drawing board and came out stronger this time.
Well, here's the thing too. I heard y'all talk about this before the game. You guys thought we were going to beat them by a lot. Jenkins was a good football team. They were
well, I think it was small sample. They got smoked by Benedictine. So it's small sample, but Benedictine's like on another level. So I get it.
On another level. I mean, I told our kids and coaches that after we watched that film, getting ready for Jenkins, I was like, guys, if we would have played Benedictine, they would have smoked us. I don't think we would have lost 42-0, but they're going to win a state championship this year, and they won for the last 5 years in a row. But I mean, Jenkins has some dudes. Their defensive end is really.
They always have a defensive end. You can count on Jenkins having a defensive end.
They do, and the thing was though, we did not play good in the game, so we missed tackles and we turned the ball over. If we didn't do those things, we would have beat them. I mean, we had a chance to go up by 10. We had the ball on the 1 yard line. We fumbled a snap. Yeah, and in the fourth quarter, you just can't do that, And then we had 26 missed tackles. So, literally, when I say we just got to get better at tackling and not turn the ball over, that's it. So,
literally, if you miss half as many tackles, you're good.
Literally,
that's like 26 missed free throws. That's you just can't do it.
Yeah, you just can't do it. Like that. Yeah, and it's hard for the kids too, with limited. Because we can't put on pads in the summer. So it's hard. That's the hardest thing for kids to learn how to do again, tackle, because we don't want, they can tackle scout team guys, but when we go best on best, I'm not letting our DBs tackle Brandon Bryant or Carnell or Jeremiah or Jake, because they can't. If we lost one of those guys, we would not be as good of a football team if we had injuries, So we can't allow them to tackle full speed in practice when they're going best on best. So now you get in a football game and you're going best on best. It's for real. Yeah. So the only way to get better at it is play more games. And we got a lot better at it this week. So
also gets harder when that game speeds up. And it definitely speeds up when the other guys are wearing different shirts.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you jumping on with this, man, and love the direction of the program over there. You guys are having a lot of success. It's exciting. It's fun to watch. The offense is good times, and can't wait to get over there and see it in person soon.
Absolutely, appreciate you guys.
All right, thanks, get Coach. Some sleep before that baby gets up.
Appreciate it. All righty.
See you, brother. Good times with Hayden Gregory.
What a great guy.
In between diaper changes.
Yeah,
he's fun to talk to. He's really passionate about the game and about the kids in that program, and he's definitely breathed new life into that program. And that's always going to rub some people the wrong way, especially the rivals and the people across town. And everybody has their own philosophies about how they do things, but so far the results have been good over there, and the response from the kids is what I always gauge it on. And the players love playing for him. And that's a big thing for me. So
Yeah, I
he's
think
got my respect for now, at least, and unless he does
Without
something to. I got my bluff in on him on day one too. I told him, we'll be good, but if you do something wrong, you better just own up to it because I'll find out eventually.
But I think, learning on the job at Collinsville, I think that did a lot for him, and just that youthful energy that he brought over here to the Low Country. These kids really, they noticed what he was capable of doing in terms of coaching and just getting them to believe in themselves. And especially these upperclassmen who have been through, a couple different, two different coaches. And, it's certainly with COVID and everything they had to go through, and now being able to have a head coach who's really instilling the extra belief and confidence in these guys, and just knows how to operate and build a team to get the most out of them. And he shows potential at Collinsville, and now getting this first job at Bluffton. I think he was absolutely a slam dunk hire, and I'm expecting a lot more from this. I think he can be at this job for potentially a good number of years, and continuing to build this program into a perennial contender, because that's where I think this program is headed. I have full belief that Gregory's going to.
I completely agree. Yeah, I completely agree in the fact too that we talk about community and we talk about family and all of that. And again, I have to go back to when you, Justin, and I saw him for the first time in the introduction, and he was talking about being able to coach with his dad. And he's really instilled, I think, the thought of family within this program. And without question, they have gone and really improved in a very short time under Hayden Gregory. It's going to be really exciting to see what happens with them the rest of the season for sure, heading into the 7-4A playoffs, because, again, that region is absolutely loaded with talent.
Yeah, I don't know if loaded is right, but super competitive.
Yeah.
Like James Island, I think, is the high end for now, and they're like legit, probably a top 5, top 7 type team. Nobody else so far has really looked like a top 10 team, but I think they're a bunch on the cusp. Hilton Head and May River are pretty close, and Bluffton's pretty close, and it's so.
If one of those teams goes on a run, they could definitely
somebody gets hot for the right 3 weeks, they can be dangerous. and they've all got, you can see the potential in all 3 of those teams, that if it all falls right, and that's the thing, a lot has to go right. Like Hayden was saying, one of those big dogs gets hurt and you are a completely different team. And that's true for all those teams. If Shai Thompson gets hurt, if Troy Timko gets hurt, if Tanner Macy gets hurt, who, by the way, is back to the school, phone's at 2%. He's going to get a little charge going. We're looking at about $11.40 for Tanner Macy on the show. So, but everybody's got a couple of those guys that if we saw last week, Samari Vaughn starts limping around and you're panicking on Ladies Island. So that's high school football for you. Whale Branch saw it last year. Their 2 big running back linebacker dogs went down. If they lose Daryl Cummings and Alonzo Allen this year, they're not going to be very good anymore. That's just the way it is. But they're all right there, and it's going to be a matter of kind of who's playing well and taking care of the little stuff and stays the healthiest at the right times, I think.
Fundamentals, turnovers.
Those
penalties, those always come when you have evenly matched teams. It's always kind of those things.
Little things become big things in a hurry. They really do. But let's shout out some varsity sponsors before we go too much further. Starting with DDS Web Design, our friends Dave and Denise are ready to take on your web design project. They'll get you set up with the best search engine optimization so that you can get your website working for you. And they love to work with small businesses and nonprofits to help you do more and get found online. So give them a shot at ddshhi.com. And we got the Parker Law Group, our friends out in Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper County, serving all your legal needs. And now they're helping us continue to expand our coverage into those areas. And they also support our BA football coverage. Saw that our guy Clay Lohr got accepted into the Citadel today. So that'll straighten him out. He's a jokester. They won't They'll straighten the jokes out of him at the Citadel. But great kid, great people at the Parker Law Group. We appreciate them supporting what we do. Guys, before we get to Tanner Macy, we started it earlier, but a few headlines from today. It was a busy day in the Loco. Bridget Wilkie from Hilton Head Prep shot 34 at Port Royal Barony. Hilton Head Prep shot 177, won by a bunch over Loco rivals. Hilton Head High girls also won a tri-match. They shot 180 to beat Beaufort and Bluffton. Brooke Nicholas with a 38 for medalist honors. Hilton Head Prep tennis. We've talked about this before, Wes. They went split squad today and went 2-0. I saw my man Clint Van Oswegen out at the courts. Hilton Head High tennis courts, by the way, remodeled. Terrific setup. They got bleachers facing two like center courts. It's really great setup. You got to go check it out. But great match out there. So Hilton Head Prep went to BA and won like 7-2. And then they took their A squad, I guess, or most of it, to Hilton Head High and won 4-3. They had 3 singles matches go to third set breakers. So like it was a dogfight. And then it went to number 1 doubles, and Laura Macedo and Millie Pulliam from Hilton Head Prep beat Haley Poplin and Brooke Bybee, younger sister of Jackson Bybee. So I saw the Bybee clan out there. Man, I saw everybody at Hilton Head today. So we had a swim meet, and everybody and their brother was there. I mean, everybody was there. And then we had tennis, and we saw the Rucknose. Emily's doing great at West Point.
Awesome.
She's playing against Quinnipiac soon in their open. It's like a split squad match, but she's looking really good. She's doing great up there. Alex is at USC having a wholly different experience than West Point. He's having a good time. We saw Bobby Tillison, blast from the past. We saw Tom Shimada, former ATP player, whose daughter is playing for Hilton Head Prep. I mean, it was just a who's who over at Hilton Head Prep, and then or Hilton Head High, and then we went into the volleyball, and we saw our friend Jennifer Cox from Colleton County, and Shane Brown, and Sean Zink, and gosh, everybody. Clock, Dr. Joel Clock. He said you were the first student he ever met at Hilton Head High, Wes.
Huh.
You were sitting in the front row paying attention, and he was the first one. You were the first one he remembered. But no, we saw everybody tonight. It was good times. I was telling you guys, proud of my son Truman. He's new to swimming, only been about a month, but he dropped a half second in the 50 free and 3 seconds in the 100 free today. So
It's awesome stuff.
Incremental progress. And dude, we've got some great swimmers here. Jack Usry, we talked about, he's terrific. He was impressive again today. And Hilton Head High, my first look at them today, but they've got some really terrific swimmers as usual. Mike Lane at H2A does a great job developing those kids. And the private schools have, everybody's got some really strong swimmers. JP2's coming out strong. Hilton Head Prep's always got some good ones. And it's been cool to see that culture, because there's a lot of enthusiasm around the pool. You know all about it, Wes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The energy just, before meets, during meets, especially every race, brings that kind of excitement. Relays are my favorite because you got everybody, going as a team, and you get your teammates cheering each other on. I love the excitement when we watch the relays. Those are fun, but it's something special. And sometimes the teams will create their own cheers, and it's just a really fun, well-knit atmosphere. And it's exciting, especially when you get to the state meets. It can get pretty noisy and wild and fun to watch. So the meets are long. High school meets aren't as long as
Well, this one tonight was a good. It was solid 2.5. We were there for a minute.
Yeah, but no, I mean, these kids work so hard, and they are some of the most dedicated crop of athletes here in the Lowco. Those 6 a.m. workouts, then you got the dry land workouts, then you got the running. There's a lot that goes into developing a solid swimmer, and those who do it the best, especially like Mike Lane and those, and the coach we talked about a week ago or so.
George Moreno.
We've got so many good ones, and these swimmers are rising the challenge, and I'm just so excited to see. This as I said, the swim season goes by fast. October, we're already talking about the state champions being crowned, so it goes by quickly, but I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to, be excited to hear about the prowess in the pool, and then hopefully we'll bring home some hardware coming up in the next few weeks. But more power to our swimmers and Coach Lowco, who are doing yeoman's work and a terrific job this year.
You ain't kidding. Hilton Christian Academy's got a dang army. Melanie Hilton just must be pulling kids out of the hallways and handing them bathing suits because she has got an army.
We have our Michael Phelps of Lowco. You're doing something right when you're getting compared to his name. So
well, I mean, it was Link Lyles who called him Michael Phelps. So Link Lyles, he's a country boy. He's not, he was impressed though, and Ussery is impressive, and he's impressive all the way around. He's just an impressive young man. You can see why the Naval Academy wants him for sure. But those swimmers, like you said, just the dedication. It's cool to see my kid, getting into that culture because, man, it really instills something in you that's pretty special. And then he's going to wrestle and play baseball. That kid's going to be mentally tough, if nothing else, by the time he gets through all this stuff. I talked with somebody about that today. I was talking with Kim Bean from Buford Memorial, Bluffton Primary Care here. She's a nurse practitioner, and I'm writing a feature on her. And we were just talking about the importance. She has young kids as well. And we were talking about the importance of sports in instilling all the things that you need in life and just the discipline and the tenacity and the ability to overcome adversity and turn the page and next pitch, next play is so important. So we were talking a good bit about that, but I see action in the green room. They're checking out the snacks. We're gonna wait for a camera to come on. It says Carnell, so we may get a double dip here. Might get a little Carnell Warren with our Tanner Macy. Could be fun. What's going on there? Is Carnell gonna jump in with us too? We're gonna. How's this working? Do we have Bluffton and May River players together? This is interesting.
Get ready to rumble.
Never know what can happen on that.
Oh, he must have figured it out. He's changing his name. He jumped out. He's sexing me. Bubble. We got bubbles. We're on Tanner Macy watch. It's getting loopy as we move toward midnight. But no, it was a busy day today, man. Lots of stuff going on. Busy day tomorrow. Football day in America.
Oh yeah.
You still got bubbles over here. This is like when we were watching John Calipari in that door at Kentucky. We're watching the text bubbles.
Congratulations to any Lions fans or who happen to be watching, or just Lions fans in general, because I'll tell you, that fan base must be on an absolute high right now.
Yeah, me and the ghost don't want to talk about it right now. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Hey, when you win,
Dan
two championships.
Look, if you go for it on 4th and 2 on a fake punt from your own 17 and you get it, like, good job, man. You won the game. You won the game. You had you had the courage to do that. Marcus Shigany is canceled, man. You got Chief Wahoo back there.
That's a dartboard from a few years back. At least
they're the Guardians now.
Yes.
Don't you know any better?
Indeed.
Well, we're still hoping to hang out with Tanner Macy a little bit, but while we wait, we can shout out a few. Oh, wait! I knew it. If I started to shout out sponsors, Tanner would jump in. Here we go, baby. Every time I try to shift gears, we get a new guest. What's going on, Tanner Macy? The 6th touchdown man tonight.
Wow.
You were rolling. Tell us about what's going on with that offense the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, man. We just started to be more prepared. So today I like to shout out my O-line. They had a hell of a game. And first play, we knew that Creek was gonna crash the box. So we did a little play action and threw it over the top to Gage, and that just kind of started the whole thing for us.
Yeah, talk about that relationship, Tanner, that you have with Gage. I was there in the first quarter, and it was something special. You guys were just clicking on all cylinders, and it turned into a track meet very, very quickly on both sides. And then obviously after the first couple of drives, you guys just ended up taking it away. and having a great game, obviously.
Yeah. Gage, he's a player. One of my best receivers, him and Asa. You know, they know their assignment, their routes, and they catch the ball very well. Um, I think my second passing touchdown was a screen to Jordan Williams. He's a sophomore. I think it was like 75 yards. It was a screen, and he took it all the way to the house, which was impressive.
Yeah, he's a talented young guy. I saw little flashes of it last year, and it's good to see him getting work the last couple of weeks. And you mentioned Gage and the connection there. I mean, you guys are backcourt bros too, so you
Yeah.
you got that connection going on the basketball court too. Does that kind of help you kind of read each other's mind out there a little bit and understand what you're going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I've been friends with Gage since we were in like middle school, so we have that chemistry.
Yeah, no question.
Talk about your offensive line. Sorry, Wes. Talk about your offensive line too, and what they were able to do to help protect you guys.
Yeah, Will Morrow, reigning Lower State 4A Offensive Lineman of the Week, right?
Yeah, Will's played since he was a sophomore, so he's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. Will Bonneville, his dad's the coach. He has a background in the O-line, so he does everything well. And then everyone just kind of follows under their lead, which is perfect for me.
Tanner, I've been impressed by the way Coach Bonneville, who you've known for a while, he's been in the organization and in the coaching staff. But what did he do, going into preseason and then into this year to prepare you for this year ahead? And how have you responded so far and learned from what your head coach is trying to get you to do?
Yeah, I mean, he's held us to a standard all summer, spring, like ever since the beginning. He wants the best for us, and that's kind of what we push for. We want to make the coaches happy because when they get on us, of course we don't feel so well. So yeah, we just try to.
That's an understatement. We want to make the coaches happy because when they get on us, we don't feel so well. It feels a lot better when it's going well, definitely.
Yeah.
But Tanner, how fun has it been these last two games after a tough one against West Ashley? Two tremendous performances, both on the road, doing it at Waccamaw and then backing it up. You do it for 1 week and you back it up this week against Battery Creek. How good must it feel to put up two excellent performances in a row?
Yeah, I mean, it feels good. West Ashley hurt, first game of the season. We didn't play up to our expectations. And then Waccamaw and Battery Creek, we knew that we outmatched both of them, so we just had to go out and perform. And then this upcoming week with Beaufort will be a challenge. So we'll see what happens.
I was just going to mention that one because I've got the call on WHHI TV next week. Talk about what you've seen from Beaufort so far and how they match up with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen much of them really. We kind of just focus on ourselves, but we know that they've been a good team in the past, so we have to bring an A game for sure.
Yeah, no doubt that defensive line looked pretty good last week against Hilton Head. What obviously your O line's got a block, but does that when you're playing against a team that is going to be tough up front? How does that kind of change how you approach it? Are you thinking that you're going to have to be a little quicker with your reads or a little quicker to maybe take off and run, or what's kind of the mentality when you face a team that's tough up front?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be set up differently, so you just kind of have to keep your head on the swivel because they fly around, and hopefully we can try to get in their secondary more, pass the ball, so that opens up the run more.
How have you grown as a passer over these last few months into this year and developed as a quarterback? And just you seem a lot more confident out there, and you just look the part of a poised quarterback who's ready to come out there and put on a good show these last 2 weeks. So just tell me about your development and what you've worked on to get to where you are now as a tremendous arm out there quarterback for the Sharks.
Yeah, ever since the end of last season, and I was healed from my collarbone, I just try to get my receivers out on the field, get extra work in, and then after practice, still get routes in with them. And just doing that helped a lot. So yeah.
You also went through a pretty good little growth spurt, I think. Your voice is certainly deeper than it was last fall. You're a little bit bigger than you were last fall. How much weight did you pack on in the past year?
I think last year I was like around 150. Right now I'm at like 165. So like 15 pounds since last season.
Yeah, you can tell. It makes you a little more durable, I would imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
You took some hits last year, and you were a little dude. I was a little worried for you at times.
Yeah.
Talk about some keys going forward. We've obviously mentioned the Buford game that I'll have the call of next week, and then I'll see you guys against Bluffton a little bit later on as well. And not just from the offensive standpoint, but defense and special teams too. If you can talk about them and give them a little shout out as well.
Yeah, against Walkmore, they had a great game. They had like 6 turnovers between the defense and special teams. So
wow.
If they play like that, then it makes our job a lot easier on offense because we have the great field position, all that. So
I know Nodelman.
And we have that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I know Nodelman's laying some wood out there. I've been seeing some highlights of him laying some hits.
We have game big. Yeah. He's been in the weight room too. He's gotten bigger and he lays the wood. So yeah. But the next 4 games, Buford, Cane Bay, Lucy Beckham, and James Island. So that'll be a test for sure. It's a long stretch.
Yeah, that's a gauntlet.
It is. Very rough stretch of games mid-season, but you have the confidence now. You've won a couple, and you've looked good, and certainly are prepared. So, how do you keep that level of composure from game to game? Take it one game at a time. It's easy to look ahead, but if you focus from just one game to the next, take the good that you did and move on from there. How do you approach it yourself as you get ready for a game against a tough Buford defense next week?
Yeah, I mean, I try to watch as much film as I can. Know their base coverage, what their D-line does, all of that. And I make sure to be a leader in practice because I know sometimes it can get high. It can, a lot of external factors can, affect our practice. And I want to, get everyone up and just, uplift them. So, yeah.
You guys got the night off tomorrow night. You going to go check out that Buford Goose Creek game?
Yeah, I might have to.
Yeah, do a little scouting. You can't beat live scouting. That's good times. But you'll definitely go check out a game. You got Hilton Head at home too, so you got some options. You could always watch the Buford game on Buford's own and go to the Hilton Head game.
Yeah.
You could cover one for LowcoSports.
Don't think so.
Well, we appreciate you, man. We'll let you get some sleep. Another day of school tomorrow, but nice game tonight, and keep it rolling. We'll see you down the road.
Tanner, we'll see you next week.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Take care. Well, Marcus, we are getting to the end of our road too, so we're gonna name our teams of the week. Or
athletes of the week. It's Thursday.
Athletes of the week today. Gosh, I can't keep it straight. What day is it? My kingdom for a week with no holidays or hurricanes. That's all I want. Just 1 week with no holidays or hurricanes, so I can get caught up on routine. But we appreciate you rolling with us for a while tonight, and we'll let you get some sleep as well. We'll see you tomorrow, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
You all again.
All right, sounds good, man.
See you
Thanks
guys.
to Marcus Walsh from WHHI. All right, Wes, it's you and me, kid. Let's shout out some Lowco Booster Club sponsors, and then we'll name our athletes of the week and send this thing to bed, and we'll be right behind it. Starting out, Lowco Booster Club, we got Prime IV Hydration and Wellness. Just had their big grand opening. I shared it on Facebook, so you guys can see what Max and his team have put together over at Belfair Town Village. Go sit in the massage chair and get your IV drip full of all your vitamins and minerals to get you feeling right. And then if you also need a little physical adjustment, you can stop and see my guy Ambrose MIZ at Rooted Living Wellness, and he'll get you cracked up. I'm going to see him in the morning tomorrow, and I think I'm going to have to make an appointment because, man, swimming, being down there on the pool deck, I'm cracking. My back is spasming. I'm going to have to go see Ambrose, read Living Wellness, and get feeling right. And then we got Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Our friend Chris Odom is the man when it comes to getting things clean. He can clean all your floors. You can clean your upholstery, your carpet, whatever you need. He can get it clean, but he will get the floors so clean your feet will thank you. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. And Eagle Creations, they just bailed out another friend. Eagle Creations never lets me down when I refer them to someone in need. We had a baseball team. Their uniforms didn't come in. They're supposed to play this weekend. They were in a panic. I said, hey, Eagle Creations has our Waves team store. They've got some dry fit Wave shirts in 3 different colors. I bet they can find you the right sizes in stock and put numbers on them by the weekend, and they came through. So the Waves will be outfitted in matching uniforms this weekend, thanks to Mandy over at Eagle Creations. They've also got a full-scale promotional product line, as well as their proudly Southern custom gift baskets featuring regional fare that make everybody happy when they get one of those. So go see Eagle Creations. And we got the Court Lifestyle Pros, our friends Daniel and Debbie Court are lifelong Low Country residents, and they'd love to help you find your Loco lifestyle as well, especially serving Hilton Head. So give them a call if you're looking for something on Hilton Head. But that is our Loco Booster Club for the moment, Wes, and nothing left to do now but name those athletes of the week. So who you got queued up for us, man?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give a preference to the guy we just had on, Tanner Macy, the 6 touchdown man. He was the guy.
And
Really,
in 2 weeks, I mean, that's 10 touchdowns in
yeah.
a 7-day span.
I guess if you count both weeks, that's yeah.
It's pretty good.
pretty solid. But it's great to see him and this team putting up some numbers on offense, and that defense has been playing lights out as well. But Macy, I was impressed with the interview. I thought he composed himself well and just gave some good answers. Kind of knew what his role was, his job was on this team, and he's just been really executing to a higher level this year, and has really started to get. You mentioned the weight he put on, and just got stronger, and just has looked the part of a guy that has come into the season with a mission. And I think Macy is going to propel this Maver team. I mean, they're definitely going to be competing in this region, and I think if everything breaks right, they have a chance of a top 2 finish. With how well that defense is playing, and if Macy can keep it up, and you never know how far he could end up taking this squad, because I'm really excited to hopefully see him in person soon. That Bluffton River game is going to be great, and this Buford game this week is going to be really fun as well. But I think this week's going to tell us a lot about Macy and how his development is, because this Buford defense does not pull many punches, and going to be a very interesting test for him and this Maver team.
Yeah, I mean, that they'll get after you. And Gore will throw some different stuff at you. He'll bring some blitzes. Beaver's been without Q on Rivers the last 2 games too. I noticed that looking at the stats, and that's a factor. He's a big time player, so that's a guy that they're missing. But Chaz Brown was really active on the defensive line this week. Obviously, 8 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. Like, he had a monster game. So they've got a bunch of guys that they can run in there and have some fresh legs on that defensive line. So it really will be.
He can also do it in the ground. I mean, he's established himself as a runner.
I've been really impressed with him this year.
I do think this Buford defense, I think he's going to have to be on his toes.
Yeah,
and his line's going to have to put in some work as well, because
I think it's going to be a battle, man. I really do. I mean, Buford's going to have to play better than they did against Hilton Head to beat May River, because they shouldn't have won that game by any account, really. So they're going to have to be better. I think the defense is pretty good, but I think the offense has to find a little something. But they got to take care of the ball too. It's the same things that plague everybody. Take care of the ball, don't make mistakes. But good pick there. I'm going to make a weird pick for my athlete of the week, because it's not a high school kid. We used to cover him in high school, but we don't anymore. I'm going off the board here with West Virginia University junior golfer Max Green, who captured the individual title and led the Mountaineers to the team championship at the Red Bandana Invitational in Verona, New York.
I was thinking you're going to go with Christian's daughter from USCB.
Oh, that would have been a good pick too. Christian's daughter would have been a good pick. But this one's off the board. Yeah. Max Green, you know, he was an HHCA Eagle. Little sister Claire is the sweetest at May River, and she's having a good season too. Max shot 68, 75, 70 to finish 3 under par, or maybe Claire's cousin. I don't know. Clarify this for me, Greens. But Max shot 68, 75, 70, 3 under par, 1-by-1 shot over Boston College's Jack Pojerok. One of only 3 golfers in the field under par. This is his second win. He was co-champion of the ECU Intercollegiate as a freshman. So huge win for Max Green to kick off, you know, his junior season at West Virginia. A great young man who's, you know, been grinding up there for a couple of years. It's not easy in college golf. It's a grind, but outstanding to see him start his season on such a high note.
Props to him, and you know, we need to make sure to keep a tab on, you know, not just the high school golfers, but we have a bunch of college guys. Andrew Swanson's another, a bunch of others that we both need to make sure to cover, because it's cool to see, you know, it's cool to cover them in high school, but I think it's even more rewarding to continue to follow them and see what they do at the next level. And they all do a great job of you know, remembering where they came from, repping the Lowco, and you know, always give them a shout out. So, and then for our football teams as well, big news from Jayon Allen getting a start out there for.
Casey led the team in rushing. It's all over, man. It really is. We got kids all over the place doing great things. You know, Lions. Can't remember which Lions girl it is. Katie, I believe.
Yes,
is the captain of the swim team at Notre Dame, right? Like, it's one of the Lions. I think it's Katie. I don't know. There's Megan Lyons. They all swim. Yeah. They all swim at great places, and they're like amazing kids. And I saw our friend MB tonight on deck. It's just a great community we have of you know, the sports community and all these little communities within it, the swimming community, the baseball community, you know, it's just a great thing. It really is. And I'm glad to, you know, kind of try to run point and connect dots and get everybody working together and pulling in the same direction, because we got a good thing going down here in the Lowco. We got a lot of kids with a lot of talent, and if we all pull together, we can help them reach new heights. So it's good stuff.
Great.
All right, man. Well, let's call it a night. I'm tired. You're tired. I got to be up early. You maybe don't have to be up early, but if you do,
follow the story.
You got to follow the story. Yeah, you still got work to do. Me too. But let's call it a night, Wes. Great show tonight. Enjoyed it. Hanging out with you, Marcus Walsh, Hayden Gregory, Tanner Macy. People are starting to get the hang of what we're trying to do here, and it's really fun. So let's do it again tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. lunchtime for Lowco Game Day Live. We'll get you ready for the other 10 games coming your way this week after 2 tonight. And then we'll wrap them all up at night, 11:30-ish. We'll convene right here and do it all again. We'll have all the gang will be here. And if you'd like to join us, hit us up on social media or wherever. Hit us at LowcoSports@gmail.com. And let us know what game you're going to, and let us know you'd like to hop on and talk about it, and we'll make it happen. But that's going to do it for this voyage. For Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.